Congratulations, you're in charge, whether you like it or not. 1 minute, you're living your normal life. The next, you wake up in a dimly lit chamber, surrounded by hooded figures chanting your name. Candles flicker. The air smells like incense and something metallic. The cultists stare at you with awe, reverence, and, most concerningly, expectation. They call you the chosen one. They call you the ascended. They call you our Lord of eternal wisdom, flesh and blood. That last part, probably not a great sign. At this point, you have exactly two options. Panic. Pretend you know what's happening and play along. Spoiler. Option 1 is how you get sacrificed. The bad news? You have no idea what these people want. Maybe they think you're their god. Maybe they expect you to lead them into an apocalyptic new world order. Maybe they just need a convenient body for a ritual involving knives and an unreasonable amount of chanting. The worst news? Cults have rules. You don't know them, but they do. If you make the wrong move, you'll go from divine leader to mysteriously disappeared real fast. The good news? I have tips. If you want to survive your sudden promotion, or at least delay the inevitable, follow these 10 essential rules. And whatever you do, don't drink the sacred tea. Tip 1. Don't drink the sacred tea. At some point, probably early on, a cultist in elaborate robes will present you with a goblet, bowl, or possibly a human skull filled with a steaming, ominous-looking liquid. They'll call it something like the nectar of enlightenment, the blood of the first prophet, or worse, the offering of the bound flesh. They will tell you it's sacred. They will insist you drink it. They will watch you closely, waiting for a reaction. Here's the problem. You have no idea what's in it. Best case, it's a mild hallucinogen meant to open your mind to the great cosmic truths. This means you'll experience a wild trip full of swirling colors, cryptic voices, and possibly gain an intimate understanding of the universe's deepest mysteries, right before passing out in a pool of your own drool. Worst case, it's poison. Or worse, a ritual binding agent that locks you into their weird little belief system forever. It could be drugged, enchanted, or just straight up fermented blood. Either way, you don't want it in your system. How to refuse without getting stabbed? You can't just say no. That would be insulting. And in a cult, insulting their sacred traditions is a great way to become a human sacrifice. Instead, you need to decline strategically. The divine decline. Take a long, thoughtful pause. Look at the goblet like you completely understand what's happening. Let out a slow, knowing exhale. Say something vague but mystical. The time is not yet right. I must purify my vessel before partaking. The spirits whisper patience. Cultists eat this stuff up. They won't question it. They'll just nod solemnly and assume you're operating on a higher plane of existence. The power move. Accept the goblet. Hold it dramatically, as if you're absorbing its wisdom through sheer presence. Hand it back to the cultist and say, "You drink first." If they hesitate, congratulations. You just exposed their nonsense. If they drink it, congratulations. You just acquired a test subject, Observe their reaction carefully. The oops maneuver. Accidentally drop the cup. Gasp dramatically. Murmur something about fate, destiny, or the spirits rejecting the offering. If they panic, act equally horrified and whisper, "This was not the vessel meant for me." This will either make you seem even more divine or confuse them long enough for you to escape the situation. What to do if you already drank it? All right, maybe you got overconfident. Maybe they chanted aggressively while pouring it down your throat. Either way, you drank the sacred tea. Now what? If it's just herbs, you're fine. You're probably about to have some intense visions, so keep quiet, act mystical, and let them project their own meaning onto your silence. If it's a powerful hallucinogen, stay vague. If they ask, "What do you see?" say something ominous but non-specific. The veil is thin. I see fire and stars. A great change is coming. The old gods stir beneath us. Never be too specific. If you say, "I see rivers of gold," they might take it as a command to start painting everything gold. If you feel dizzy, weak, or euphoric, it's either poison or mind control. Try to throw it up discreetly. If it's too late, act like it's empowering you. Keep your eyes half-lidded and whisper something cryptic. Survival is about improvisation. Final thoughts. The goblet is a trap. Drinking the sacred tea is always a test. If you drink it willingly, you prove obedience. If you resist, you prove defiance. Either way, they are watching your every move. So when the goblet is offered, smile, nod, and find a way to not drink it. And if all else fails, drop it, blame fate, and look wise. You've bought yourself time. For now. Tip 2. Figure out the rules before breaking them. Cults run on rules. Some are harmless, like always face east when speaking to the prophet. Others, less so. If you break the wrong one, you might end up tied to an altar while they chant about cleansing the impure. The problem: you don't know the rules. You can't just ask, "Hey, what happens if I eat before the sunset prayer?" That's a one-way ticket to suspicion. Instead, you need to watch, listen, and figure it out fast. Spot the unbreakable rules. Start by observing. What do they do automatically? The things they do without hesitation, kneeling at certain symbols, avoiding specific doorways, are likely non-negotiable. What happens when someone else messes up? If a follower speaks out of turn and gets nothing more than a scolding? Safe to push boundaries. If someone uses the wrong hand for a ritual and gets dragged away, maybe don't risk it. Who reacts the strongest? If only the high priest flinches when someone steps on the sacred sigil, it's just his hang-up. If the whole room gasps, big mistake. Find the loopholes. Most cult rules contradict themselves. That's your ticket to survival. If they say, "The prophet's word is law, but also the prophet is eternal," ask, "Then why did the last one die?" Don't actually ask. Just keep it in your back pocket. If there's a rule about ritual fasting, but also mandatory feasting, someone is bending the rules when convenient. that means you can too. Test the boundaries carefully. Once you have a grasp of what's sacred and what's just habit, you can push your luck. Break a minor rule first, something small. If no one reacts, good news, that rule is flexible. If someone does react, immediately turn it into a prophecy. Look up, pretend to listen to unseen voices, and murmur something like, "It has been revealed to me. This law was meant for the old times. The cycle is changing. A new path is upon us." Will they believe you? Maybe. But at the very least, they'll hesitate. And that's all the time you need. Final thoughts. Learn the game before you play. The first person to break the rules is a heretic. The second person is a visionary. So before you do anything reckless, make sure you're not the first. Tip 3. If they chant your name, it's already too late. A few whispered prayers in your direction? Fine. A quiet murmur of "our chosen one" when you enter a room? Expected. But the moment the entire cult starts chanting your name in unison, something bad is about to happen. Chanting means a ritual is in progress, and rituals in cults only ever mean one of three things. They're about to worship you. Unsettling but survivable. They're about to test you. Dangerous, depending on the test. They're about to sacrifice something. Worst case scenario, the sacrifice is you. How to tell what kind of chant this is? Before you panic, check these 3 warning signs. Are they looking at you? If yes, congratulations. You're the main event. You need to figure out why fast. If no, someone else is in trouble. Do not intervene. Intervening makes you part of the ritual. Are they holding anything? Torches, knives, a suspiciously large ceremonial bowl? That's a bad sign. Offerings, gifts. This might just be an adoration ritual. Awkward, but survivable. Is the chanting slow or fast? Slow, drawn out, eerie, probably a summoning. You do not want to be here. Fast, rhythmic, escalating. That's an execution chant. Someone's about to be judged. Possibly you. What to do if you're the focus? If the chanting is clearly about you, you need to act immediately. The divine command. Raise a hand, immediately silence them. Cults love authority. If you act like you expected this, they will hesitate. Say something ominous like, "The time has not yet come. This ritual is premature. I hear the whispers of the unseen. They say wait." If they believe you, you just bought yourself time. The misdirection strategy. If you don't know what's happening, pretend to have a revelation. Stare at the ceiling. Look slightly pained, like you're receiving a message from beyond. Whisper, "No, not yet. The path is unclear." If they press you, nod solemnly and say, "I must prepare. Leave me." They will hesitate, and hesitation is your best friend. What if you can't stop it? If they ignore you and keep chanting, brace yourself. Something is coming, and it's probably not good. Don't be the first to react. Cultists look for cues. If you panic, they'll expect you to follow through. If an elder steps forward with a knife, a crown, or a torch, be ready to dodge, redirect, or start screaming about a prophecy they haven't heard of yet. Final thoughts. Silence is safer than chanting. If a cult is chanting your name, it's already too late for someone. Your job is to make sure that someone isn't you. Tip 4. Always know where the knives are. Cults love ceremonial weapons. Dagger on an altar? Normal. Ornate sword resting on a sacred pillow? Expected. A whole collection of knives, each labeled with someone's name? Mildly concerning. The problem isn't just that the knives exist, it's that you don't know what they're for. In cult logic, a blade can mean a lot of things. A symbol of power, good. A tool for a sacred test, risky. A sacrificial instrument, very bad. At some point, someone will hand you a knife. The trick is figuring out what they expect you to do with it before you do anything irreversible. How to handle the knife situation. If a cultist presents a blade to you, don't just grab it. Observe their reaction first. Are they kneeling? This is likely a power transfer. Holding the blade equals leadership. Accept it slowly to avoid looking overeager. Are they watching you too closely? This is a test. They might be expecting you to cut something or someone. Do not make the first move. Are they already chanting? Someone is about to get sacrificed. You need to redirect their attention immediately. How to avoid an unwanted ritual. If it looks like they expect you to use the knife on something or someone, you have options. The prophetic delay. Hold the knife up like it's profoundly significant. Whisper something cryptic, like, "This blade is not yet meant for this moment." If they hesitate, you just bought yourself time. The fake vision. Stagger slightly, like you're overwhelmed with divine insight. Murmur, "The blade must rest, not in blood, but in patience." Hand it back slowly, like you're entrusting it to a greater purpose. The deflection strategy. If they expect you to strike, hand the knife to the most devoted cultist in the room. Say, "Prove your worth." Let them figure out who or what gets stabbed. What if you mess up? If you take the knife too confidently, they'll expect action. If you hesitate too much, they'll question your divinity. The goal is to make them think that not using the knife is part of the plan. And if things go south, know your exits and remember where they keep the other weapons. Tip 5. Beware of the true believers. Not all cult members are the same. Some are just here for power, schemers looking for a way to climb the ranks. Others are survivors, playing along because they have no other choice. And then there are the true believers. These are the ones who don't hesitate, the ones who don't question, the ones who stare at you with unsettling devotion and whisper things like, "I would die for you," or worse, "I would kill for you." How to identify a true believer? They are the most dangerous people in the room, not because they hate you, but because they love you too much. Signs you're dealing with one. They never blink when looking at you. Normal people blink. True believers don't. It's like they think if they break eye contact, they'll lose divine favor. They repeat your words like scripture. Say something random, like, "The stars are bright tonight." If they respond with, "Yes, the stars shine for your return," you've got a problem. They volunteer too quickly. If a task is dangerous and they jump at the chance before you finish speaking, it's not bravery, it's fanaticism. What makes them so dangerous? True believers will do anything for you. That might sound useful, but here's the issue. If they think you're testing them, they'll escalate. Ask for an offering. They might bring a body. If they think you're doubting your role, they'll help. That could mean locking you in a sacred chamber until you remember your purpose. If they think you're in danger, they might eliminate threats. And their definition of a threat could be anyone who looks at you the wrong way. How to handle a true believer? You can't argue with them. Logic won't work. Instead, you need to manage them. The controlled devotion strategy. Give them specific, harmless tasks. Something that keeps them busy but doesn't cause mass chaos. Your mission is to protect this sacred hall, a hall that doesn't actually need protecting. You must record my words, preferably while you say nothing useful. The delayed revelation approach. If they're getting too intense, act like you've received a mystical message just for them. The gods have spoken. Your true purpose will be revealed soon. This keeps them waiting instead of acting. The distance method. If they're too devoted, send them on a pilgrimage. Your faith is strong, but you must seek the final wisdom beyond these walls. Congratulations. You just sent your most unstable follower far, far away. What if they turn on you? If they suspect you're not the real deal, they won't quietly leave. They'll see it as their duty to fix the situation, either by forcing you into compliance or by replacing you. By the time that happens, you're in real trouble. So keep them controlled, distracted, and, if necessary, very, very far away. Tip 6. Never acknowledge the elders' secrets. Every cult has elders. They're the ones who started this whole mess, or at the very least, know more than they're telling you. They speak in riddles, wear slightly fancier robes, and give off the distinct vibe that they know something you don't. Here's the problem. You don't know what they know, and if you start asking the wrong questions, you might find out exactly why the last leader disappeared. What are they hiding? Elders are keepers of the truth. The issue is that truth might be The cult's origin story is a lie. The prophecy is fake, or worse, misinterpreted. There were other chosen ones before you, and they didn't last. The moment you acknowledge something seems off, you become a problem. How to avoid drawing their attention. The feigning ignorance tactic. If you notice a contradiction in their teachings, pretend you didn't. If they watch you too closely when you approach certain rooms, avoid those rooms. If they hint at something ominous, nod knowingly and say, "The path unfolds as it should." This makes them think you're already in on the secret. The misdirection strategy. If an elder starts testing you, redirect the conversation. If they ask, "Do you know the true meaning of the prophecy?" respond with, "Do any of us truly know?" If they ask, "Have you heard the whispers beneath the temple?" tilt your head like you're listening and say, "Not yet." The selective amnesia method. If you stumble upon something suspicious, a hidden door, an out-of-place relic, a diary written in frantic scribbles, do not react. If an elder asks what you saw, act confused or uninterested. They will only kill you if they think you understand too much. What if an elder confronts you? If they pull you aside in a dark corridor and start speaking cryptically, stay calm. This is either a warning, which means you're in danger, a test, which means they don't trust you, an invitation into something even worse, which means you need to get out fast. The best response? Say nothing definitive. Just nod slowly, murmur something about the greater cycle, and walk away before they can decide whether you're expendable. Why this matters. If the cult has secrets, the elders are the ones guarding them. They decide who stays, who rises, and who gets buried under the temple floor. The less they notice you noticing things, the longer you'll survive. Tip 7. Learn the language of rituals. At some point, you'll be expected to participate in, approve, or lead a ritual. Maybe it's a prayer circle. Maybe it's an initiation ceremony. Maybe it's something with a lot of knives and screaming. The problem? You have no idea what any of it means. Cult rituals are full of cryptic chants, obscure gestures, and way too much eye contact. The good news is, no one actually knows what half of it means. The bad news is, they will expect you to act like you do. How to fake your way through a ritual. The echo strategy. If everyone chants, repeat the last few words in a solemn voice. If they say, "Blessed be the vessel of the old gods," you say, "The old gods." This makes it seem like you're deep in spiritual reflection. The mystical stare approach. If you don't know what to do, close your eyes, tilt your head slightly, and act like you're listening to unseen voices. Occasionally nod, like something profound was just revealed to you. The vague hand gesture method. If the ritual involves movement, match their energy but slightly slower. This makes it look intentional, like you're emphasizing the meaning rather than just trying to keep up. If in doubt, raise one hand solemnly. It almost always fits the moment. What to watch out for. Some rituals are just formalities, others are tests. If the crowd keeps glancing at you, they're waiting for a cue. If an elder pauses dramatically before speaking, they expect you to say something first. If the ritual involves a circle, a knife, and an unwilling participant, you might want to stop nodding and start figuring out how to shut this down. What to say when they ask for your blessing. At some point, they will look to you for final approval. You don't want to mess this up. Good, safe phrases to use. Let it be as it has always been, vague but affirming. The will of the unseen guides us. No one can argue with unseen forces. We shall see what is revealed. Buys you time to assess if this is about to go off the rails. If they press for specifics, act like the meaning is too sacred to explain. Just whisper, "Only in time will we understand," and walk away. What if the ritual is clearly a trap? If you get the feeling that this whole event is designed to test you, do not panic. Instead, break the ritual with authority. Interrupt the ceremony by raising your hands dramatically and saying something cryptic like, "No, this is not the way." Claim a new revelation. If the ritual involves something violent, declare that a great shift has come. Our ways must change. If all else fails, collapse. Nothing derails a ceremony faster than the supposed deity passing out mid-ritual. Why this matters. If you can fake your way through a ritual, they'll keep believing you're the real deal. If you mess up, you might become the next ritual. Tip 8. Control the narrative. Right now, the cult worships you, but that doesn't mean you're safe. Power in a cult isn't just about being revered, it's about controlling the story. If you don't shape the doctrine, someone else will, and that's how you end up on the wrong side of a prophecy. The problem? They already have expectations. They believe you were foretold, chosen, or resurrected for some grand purpose. The trick is steering that belief in a way that keeps you alive. How to take control without raising suspicion. The prophecy adjustment tactic. If they mention a prophecy that sounds like it ends badly for you, subtly reinterpret it. If they say, "The chosen one must shed blood under the red moon," respond with, "Yes, but the blood may be symbolic." If they say, "The great one will transcend the flesh," quickly add, "which means the spirit, not the body." The holy mystery method. The less they understand, the more power you have. Instead of giving clear answers, speak in cryptic, half-truths. The path is ever-changing. We must look beyond the veil, but not too far. Balance must be maintained. This ensures no one can prove you wrong. If something doesn't go as planned, just say, "We misunderstood the signs." The strategic doctrine update. Introduce new revelations that make your life easier. The Great One must never be disturbed during the sacred hour. Now you get alone time. It is forbidden for the chosen to walk without food or drink. Now they have to keep you well fed. The divine must not be rushed. Now you can delay decisions indefinitely. What to do if someone challenges your teachings? It's inevitable. Someone, an elder, a zealot, an ambitious follower, will start questioning you. If they do, you need to shut it down fast. Feign disappointment. Lower your voice and say something like, "I had faith that you understood. Perhaps I was wrong." This shifts the doubt onto them. Turn the question back on them. If they ask, "Why has the prophecy changed?" respond with, "Why do you assume it hasn't been misinterpreted before?" Declare a sacred trial. If they keep pushing, insist they must seek clarity through reflection and isolation. In other words, exile them for a while until they forget what they were mad about. The long game. The longer you control the story, the harder it will be for anyone to question you. They'll start reinforcing your own teachings among themselves. And once your word is law, you're not just surviving the cult, you're running it. Tip 9. Escape is harder than you think. Let's be honest. You're probably thinking about leaving. Who wouldn't? You woke up in a cult. People chant your name on command, and at least one elder looks like they're debating whether to crown you or sacrifice you. The problem? Cults don't let their gods walk away. If you try to run and fail, best case scenario, they forgive you but keep you under strict watch. Worst case, you become the next sacred offering. Either way, you only get one shot at this. Step 1. Figure out how trapped you are. Before making any plans, you need to know what you're dealing with. Ask yourself, where are the exits? If you don't know, you're already trapped. How far is the outside world? If the cult lives deep in the mountains or a remote compound, running blindly will get you killed before they do. Who's watching you? If they assign a personal disciple to you at all times, escape will require getting rid of them first. If the cult is heavily guarded, you need more than speed. You need a distraction. Step 2. Create a reason to be left alone. You can't run if they're watching your every move. You need to convince them that you're safest when undisturbed. The sacred solitude excuse. Declare, the divine must reflect in solitude. Insist you need one full night of isolation to receive an important vision. If they resist, sigh dramatically and add, doubt clouds the path. This makes them too guilty to argue. The fake illness strategy. Cultists are terrified of spiritual corruption. Start coughing, sweating, or muttering nonsense. Whisper, "I am unclean. I must purify." They'll leave you alone until you recover. Once you're alone, you have your window. Step 3. Make it look like a prophecy. If you vanish without explanation, they'll hunt you down. But if your disappearance fits their mythology, they'll hesitate. Leave behind an eerie message. Scratch something mysterious into the walls like, "The chosen one walks unseen." The cycle is complete. The vessel ascends. Arrange your sleeping area to look untouched, as if you vanished into thin air. If they think your disappearance is part of the prophecy, they might spend days debating what it means instead of chasing you. Step 4. If you can't escape, make them want to leave. If the compound is too remote or the elders have eyes everywhere, then escaping alone might be impossible. In that case, you need to collapse the cult from the inside. Spread doubt subtly. Ask leading questions like, are we truly the last believers? Create a rival prophet. Find the most ambitious follower and start dropping cryptic hints that they might be the true chosen one. If chaos breaks out over leadership disputes, you'll have your moment to slip away while they fight amongst themselves. What happens if you fail? If they catch you mid-escape, you have two options. Claim it was a test. Look them in the eyes and say, I needed to see who was truly loyal. Pretend you were in a trance. Say, I was led beyond the gates, but I have returned. Either way, recover quickly, because after one failed attempt, they will never leave you alone again. Tip 10. There's always another God waiting, no matter how much the cult adores you, no matter how many times they call you the chosen one. You are not irreplaceable. You weren't the first leader. You won't be the last. Maybe they had a previous prophet who mysteriously disappeared. Maybe there's already a new Messiah waiting in the wings. Either way, power in a cult is never stable. The moment they start whispering about the next cycle or the prophecy's fulfillment, you should start looking for your exit or your replacement. Step 1. Identify your successor. You need to find someone who wants the throne more than you do. Good candidates include the overzealous disciple, the one who stares at you like you personally shaped the universe, the ambitious elder, the one who subtly corrects you when you misinterpret the doctrine, the rival visionary, the one who has ideas about how the faith should be run. The trick is making them think the idea is theirs. Step 2. Plant the seed. You can't just announce, hey, I think Chad should be the new god. That's suspicious. Instead, start subtly shifting attention toward your chosen successor. Start referring to their wisdom. Say things like, even the great one learns from those who listen. Praise their insights, faith, or devotion in front of others. Act like you're preparing for the next phase. Say cryptic things like, my time here is only one part of the journey. The divine moves in ways unseen. Others must be ready. Once people start believing in them, you're no longer the only focus. Step 3. Stage your exit. You can't just leave. They'll come after you. You need a disappearance that fits their mythology. The Ascension disappearance. Vanish overnight, leaving behind a final, ominous message. The chosen one walks beyond the veil. I return to the unseen. If you set it up right, they'll spend years debating your return instead of looking for you. The transfer of power. If your successor is ready, bless them publicly. The next phase begins with successor's name. The divine light now guides another. Once they accept, slip away before they can second guess it. The fake martyrdom. If they need a dramatic ending, stage a disappearance in the middle of a miraculous event. Example: a ritual with smoke, fire, or darkness. Step into the mist. Never return. If they think you transcended, they won't hunt you down. What happens if you wait too long? If you hesitate, someone else will make the decision for you, and that decision might involve your divine sacrifice. So before they decide you've fulfilled your purpose, make sure someone else is ready to take your place. Then, disappear before they start carving your name into history. So, you're a cult leader. Now what? If you've made it this far, you're either still alive, good start, still in charge, slightly concerning, still trying to figure out how to escape, understandable. The truth is, cults don't worship people, they worship ideas. The moment they decide you no longer fit their idea, you're expendable. That's why you've spent this whole time dodging sacred drinks, rewriting prophecies, and making sure no one gets too close with a ceremonial dagger. So what's next? If you can escape, do it, but only once. A failed attempt means you're under constant watch, and you really don't want to be the first god they have to chain up. If you can't escape, rule smart. Keep the followers loyal, the elders uncertain, and the rules just vague enough that only you truly understand them. Absolute control means absolute survival. And if you're tired of the pressure, find your replacement. Shift the attention to the next chosen one, bless them dramatically, and disappear into the night. Whatever you do, don't get comfortable. The line between leader and sacrifice is thinner than you think. Good luck, Your Holiness. Try not to become a legend